You meet someone who checks a lot of boxes. They're confident, fun, and surprisingly direct. The dates are consistent, the texting is steady, the chemistry is good. And then, maybe week 2, maybe week 3, they drop a sentence that sounds flattering, but lands heavy. I'm not here to waste time. They say they're ready. They say they want something real. They say they've grown, they're done with games, and they're serious about building a life. Now that can be a green flag. A person who knows what they want and communicates clearly can be a gift. But sometimes, if you've lived long enough and dated long enough, you can feel another energy under the words. Not clarity, pressure. Not intention, urgency. Not love, a timeline. And here's the truth nobody tells you plainly. When someone says, "I'm ready now," the most important question isn't, ready for what? It's ready for who? Because there's a huge difference between someone who's ready for a healthy partnership and someone who's ready for the nearest available partner. Today, I'm going to show you how to tell the difference, without bitterness, without stereotypes, and without becoming the person who gets rushed into a commitment they later regret. We'll talk about what actually changes for people in their mid-30s and beyond, biologically, psychologically, socially. Why "I'm ready now" sometimes shows up as a panic response. The red flags that mean you're being recruited into a life plan. The green flags that mean someone is genuinely choosing you. And the exact questions to ask so you don't have to guess. Stay to the end because I'll give you a simple decision framework. Slow down, lean in, or walk away. Based on behavior, not vibes. First, let's get grounded in reality. By mid-30s and into the 40s, most people experience a few forces at the same time. 1. Time feels louder. In your 20s, time feels endless. In your 30s, you start doing math. Not just where do I want to be, but how long does it take to build a real relationship? How long does it take to date, get engaged, get married, if that's the goal? How long does it take to stabilize finances, move, buy a home, or have kids? This doesn't automatically make someone desperate. It can make them focused, but it can also make them transactional. 2. The social comparison pressure spikes. In your 30s, a lot of your peers are doing one of 3 things: getting married, having kids, divorcing, and re-entering the market with new boundaries. So even if you're not the type to compare, you still feel a cultural drumbeat. Don't fall behind. Some people respond with healthy reflection. Others respond with rushed choices. 3. If kids are involved, biology and logistics become real. Let's speak factually, without shame. For women, fertility tends to decline with age, and pregnancy risks can increase, especially after 35. For men, fertility can decline too, and genetic risks can increase with paternal age as well. The specifics vary widely by person, but the key point isn't who has it harder. The key point is family planning becomes a real constraint, not an abstract concept. That reality can create honest urgency, or it can create fear-driven urgency. And fear-driven urgency is where bad matches happen. 4. People bring more history. By 35 plus, most people have exes they genuinely loved, patterns they repeated, mistakes they regret, coping mechanisms they built to survive dating. That history can make someone wiser, or it can make them guarded and reactive. So when you hear, "I'm ready now," don't mock it and don't worship it. Evaluate it. Here's the cleanest way to understand what's happening. Someone who's truly ready sounds like, "I've learned what I need and what I can offer. I move intentionally, but I don't force outcomes. I'm building a life I'm proud of, and I want to share it with the right person. I'm willing to take the time to do this well." Someone who's rushed sounds like, "I don't have time for uncertainty. If you can't commit by X month, I'm gone. We should know quickly. Let's lock this in before something changes." Read that again. Ready equals clarity plus patience. Rushed equals anxiety plus control. And when you commit to anxiety and control, you don't get partnership, you get management. Now let's get practical. Here are 7 patterns that often show up when someone isn't choosing you, they're choosing a plan. Sign number 1. The relationship is moving faster than trust can realistically develop. Healthy intimacy has a pace, not slow for the sake of slow, just realistic. If someone is pushing exclusivity within a few dates, moving in within a few months, marriage talk before you've had a real disagreement, family planning before you've seen each other under stress, it may be less about love and more about securing certainty. What to do? Slow down without apologizing. Say, I'm serious about building something real, and that means I want to let trust catch up to chemistry. A healthy person respects that. A rushed person punishes you for it. Sign number 2. Ultimatums show up early. Boundaries are normal. Values are normal. But early ultimatums are often a sign of fear. If they say, commit now or you're wasting my time. If we're not engaged by X, I'm gone. I need you to prove you're serious. Ask yourself, are they responding to you or to their past? What to do? Ask, help me understand what's driving the timeline. Is it something you need for your life or something you need to feel safe? Their answer tells you everything. Sign number 3. They want the label more than they want the work. Some people love the idea of husband, wife, partner, family, but they don't actually want the day-to-day reality. Conflict repair, emotional regulation, money conversations, sexual communication, shared responsibility. They want the badge, not the build. Green flag. They talk about skills and process, not just milestones. Sign number 4. They're vague about their past, but intense about your future. This one matters. You don't need someone's body count like it's a resume line item, but you do need to understand their relationship patterns, what ended things and why, what they learned, what they're trying to do differently. If they shut down every time you ask about history, yet pressure you to commit to a future, there's a mismatch. What to do? Try, I don't need every detail. I do need to understand your patterns because I'm choosing carefully. A mature person can handle that conversation. Sign number 5. Their new values appear only when you're watching. People can change, absolutely. But sustainable change leaves evidence: how they handle stress, how they talk about exes, how they treat friends and family, how they manage money and health, whether their life is stable without you. If their new lifestyle seems like a performance designed to match your preferences, be cautious. Real growth is boring, it's consistent, it shows up on random Tuesdays. Sign number 6. They treat compatibility like an obstacle to overcome. A rushed person will power through incompatibilities. They'll minimize mismatched libido, different views on kids, different spending habits, different conflict styles, different religious, cultural priorities. They'll say things like, we'll figure it out later. Love is enough. Don't overthink it. But later is where marriages break. What to do? Bring topics up early and calmly. A partner who can do hard talks is a partner you can build with. Sign number 7. You feel like you're auditioning for a role. This is the feeling to trust. If you feel like you're being measured against a checklist, stable job, good dad vibe, respectable image, safe choice, reliable provider, partner archetype, instead of being loved for your specific personality and connection, that's not romance, that's recruiting. You don't want to be someone's solution, you want to be their choice. Now let's balance it. There are also signs that I'm ready now is legitimate, healthy, and worth taking seriously. Green flag number 1. They can explain their growth without blaming everyone else. Everyone has a story, but accountability sounds like, I contributed to those problems. I avoided conflict. I chased the wrong traits. I didn't know how to choose well. I've done work on myself. Blame sounds like, all my exes were crazy. Men/women are just like that. I was unlucky over and over. Accountability predicts stability. Green flag number 2. They respect your pace. A secure person doesn't need to trap you. They'll say, I know what I want, but I want us to do this right. I'm not here for games, but I won't force you. I want clarity, not pressure. Green flag number 3. Their life is stable, with or without you. This is huge. If their emotional stability depends on you committing quickly, that's not readiness. But if they have consistent routines, supportive friendships, healthy coping, financial responsibility, purpose, then they're inviting you into a full life, not using you to fill a hole. Green flag number 4. They ask about your needs, not just your intentions. Rushed people ask, "Where is this going? Are you serious? What are your timelines?" Ready people ask, "What makes you feel secure? What does a good relationship look like to you? How do you handle conflict? What do you need, sexually and emotionally?" One is about control, the other is about compatibility. Green flag number 5. They handle conflict repair well. Pay attention to the first real disagreement. Do they take responsibility? Listen without interrupting? Come back to repair? Avoid punishment and silent treatment? This is marriage preview material. Green flag number 6. Their words match their calendar. Ready people don't just talk. They show up consistently. They make time. They follow through. They introduce you to real life, not just date night life. They don't disappear when things get real. Green flag number 7. You feel chosen, not acceptable. This is subtle but powerful. Chosen feels like admiration, warmth, playfulness, curiosity, mutual effort, sexual and emotional presence. Acceptable feels like evaluation, cold, practicality, constant milestone talk, a vibe of prove you qualify. Trust that difference. If you want clarity without becoming cynical, ask better questions. Here are questions that don't attack, don't shame, and still reveal everything you need. Question 1. What did you learn from your last serious relationship? Listen for ownership, specifics, emotional maturity. Be cautious if it's all blame or vague. Question 2. What does commitment mean to you day to day? You're looking for communication, repair, teamwork, values, not just loyalty as a slogan. Question 3. How do you handle it when you feel anxious in a relationship? Everybody gets anxious. The question is, what do they do with it? Healthy answers include talking directly, self-soothing, therapy, coaching, journaling, exercise, asking for reassurance without demanding control. Unhealthy answers include testing you, threatening to leave, silent treatment, rushing milestones to reduce anxiety. Question 4. What would make you slow down in a relationship? This is a powerful test. A ready person will say something like, if trust wasn't there, if our values didn't align, if conflict was unhealthy. A rushed person often can't answer, or they act offended. Question 5. What are your non-negotiables, and what are your flexibles? This reveals whether they're realistic. If someone has 40 non-negotiables and no flexibility, they're not ready, they're rigid. A lot of people, especially in their 30s and 40s, carry a quiet fear. Am I being settled for? Let's talk about that with maturity. Settling can mean 2 different things. 1. Healthy settling. Good. This is when someone grows out of superficial preferences and starts prioritizing real partnership. Kindness, reliability, alignment, emotional safety, shared goals. That's not settling, that's maturity. 2. Unhealthy settling. Dangerous. This is when someone chooses you because they're scared of being alone, they're behind their timeline. They want stability but don't actually like you. They want the role filled, not the relationship built. That's the kind that becomes resentment. So don't try to read minds. Measure behavior, measure effort, measure respect, measure consistency. And remember, you're allowed to want to feel desired, not just needed. Here's the framework I promised. 3 options. Option A. Slow down when you feel pressure. Slow down if the timeline is intense, you feel rushed, you haven't seen conflict repair yet, you haven't met real-life friends or family. They avoid hard conversations. How to say it? I like where this is going and I'm choosing carefully. If we're aligned, time will prove it. Option B. Lean in when readiness shows up as stability. Lean in if your pace is respected, accountability is present, values are aligned, conflict repair is healthy, you feel chosen and appreciated. Leaning in doesn't mean rushing, it means investing. Option C. Walk away when control replaces connection. Walk away if ultimatums are constant, questions are punished, your boundaries are mocked. The relationship feels like an audition. You feel emotionally unsafe. Walking away early isn't cruelty, it's wisdom. Let me leave you with this. The goal isn't to find someone with a perfect past. The goal is to find someone with a stable present, honest self-awareness, and the ability to build a future without turning you into a tool for their fear. When someone says, "I'm ready now," don't panic. Don't worship it. Don't assume it's manipulation, and don't assume it's truth. Test it, calmly, because the right person won't be threatened by your standards. They'll respect them. If you want, comment one word, ready, if you've met someone who truly had the patience and maturity to build, rushed, if you felt that timeline pressure and had to protect yourself. And if you want a follow-up video, I can make one on how to pace a relationship intentionally without playing games.